Judge, should I be able to hear you?
I make the motion to accept the minutes as presented.
There's been a motion made to accept the minutes as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
In the reports, we have the tax assessor, county treasurer, county district clerk. That's it, right? So far. Two, three, and four. Okay. Have you had a chance to review the reports? Or you want to approve them as presented, and then if there's any changes that you see, then we can address them later?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve the reports as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and second to approve the reports as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number six, discussion and or, well, yes, number six, discussion possible action to approve the account payable and the payroll. We have one of those boxes.
What is it?
I mean, one of those folders. Thank you. Boxes. Oh yeah, look at these. You look at those already? What are these payables? Hey, did you see the price on this? Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Ayala to accept the bills and payroll as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Now, on the discussion, I like to look at and hold on one bill until I find out and need to speak to Robert on Stewart and Stevenson because they charge for the generators. And I think we told them to stop in August, but we still have concerns that they weren't doing what they were charging us for. Because when they looked at them, they're putting on a report that the fuel is good, the oil is good, and the fuel was gummed up. They were never changing the fuel or doing it. So I said, you know what? Let's not pay them for that month and tell them, and we may have to negotiate it, but I asked Robert to find some people, kind of spread it around until we got bids, but nobody's guaranteed that they're going to get a job just to clean the oil, change the gas, to keep them going until we get someone that we're comfortable. But they weren't never changing it out. They were charging all this and they were supposed to, but they weren't changing it out. So even on this last bill, I'd say, hey, let's not pay them and let's see, because we told them to stop on September 1st. And the bill has August, and has some September dates. So I said, and it's not pay the bill. I'd like to ask them some questions. Well, what were you doing? What were you doing? Because, and they were only running them for 20 minutes.
Well, the thing about that generator, then the DOC, they had that diesel on there. It was full, so it would run, but it would mow down. No? So me and Robert and Rocky, we took all the diesel out and had a lot of gunk on the bottom. We put new diesel on it. So Robert, he needs to run it at least 3 to 4 hours every other Monday or once a month or something, but they need to run more than 15 minutes.
Yeah, the bigger ones have to run more. The bigger ones, the little ones, that's fine, but the bigger ones have to run. But this is the last bill that we got supposedly from Stewart and Stevenson, and we never even contracted them. We were U.S. Engines. So I don't know how these guys came in because we never approved them.
Somebody else. Subcontract.
Maybe subcontract with U.S. Engines, but we never approved them. However, we did get them to stop. And this last bill, maybe they'll cut it in half and say, y'all weren't doing this, will y'all take half? Get something out of them.
We'll do that. I'll make the motion to do
So
that.
if you make your motion to amend the Stewart and Stevenson, and second the amendment to it, then 6,125, and it's for the generator where they were doing the weekly testing. So Commissioner Ayala amended his motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Number 7, possible action to amend or extend COVID order disaster declaration. There's been some changes. The governor's allowing the bars to open beginning on the 15th at 50% capacity. Danny, are you there? So is there any other changes?
75% capacity. The bars can open tomorrow at 50% capacity, following all the rules, mask and social distancing. But in the governor's order, it is up to the local jurisdiction. So the governor put it on the local jurisdiction to make that determination. There is a group of counties within the state that cannot. One of those is Webb County, just to the south of us, as their positivity rate is still really high. Ours is low right now, and currently, as of this morning, we do have 3 active cases and 2 probable cases for a total of 127 cases since COVID started here in LaSalle County. And we've had 4 deaths locally as of right now. I also have a copy of the governor's order. Anybody wants to look at it?
No, what I was going to suggest, we still need to talk about Halloween, was, okay, we got the bars at 50%, the governor's saying, restaurants at 75, people are still not going. Las Maquinitas, I'd say leave them as it is, no alcohol, no smoking. And I'd say the same thing with the bars. I mean, they can't smoke. I mean, they got drink, but you know, they got to take their mask off to drink or smoke.
To drink, smoking, of course, outside, I believe, at bars. But I think if we start seeing a rise in cases or active cases here locally, that'll be something to address immediately. Otherwise, in the new governor's order, nothing's really changed. We did, as a community, we've been doing really well. Everybody's wearing masks, doing the social distancing and so forth, which has kept our numbers down. With the return to school and sports, we did not see a spike as of yet. But as time goes on, of course, there's a probability.
A correction or something to address in reference to the permits gathering. Ours only applies for outside the city limits. I don't know if City of Cotula has a permit, or City of Ensenada, do you all have a permit for inside the city limits, or what you're doing? I mean, the main thing to remind everybody is that they have to have spacing. I mean, if it's a little house and you have a lot of people, I mean, that's something else. But the spacing continues to be a big deal. And the reason I'm asking is you have Halloween coming up. And I think you have it pretty much under control that you're going to do a trunk or treat. That's something that has to be addressed in Cotula también. And if it's how do you keep the kids only that same household? You know, it doesn't work unless everybody pitches in. Everybody pitches in.
And per the governor's order, from his order, nothing in excess of 10 people. It's prohibited unless the mayor of the city or the county judge in an unincorporated area approves the gathering. So it is in his order.
So that falls on your lap, on the. No, it doesn't. You can't control it. That's beyond your control on the liability part. But I mean, but you're thinking public safety. So you want to make things available, but everything seems to be opening whether we want to hold back or not. The schools are opening, you know, restaurants are opening. You know, the bars opening, and you're still holding back on the kids, you know, when they're going to school. So it's not fair. So if you do a trunk or treat, make it to where it's space big enough to where the kids.
But they had a Halloween last year. They had it right there in between the two schools, didn't they? I mean, is that big enough, or is that it's outside? I mean, the kids are going to school. I mean, a lot of kids are going to want to do that. I don't know about trick or treating, but having that carnival, that trunk or treat, they're going to be all together. It's going to be almost everything on the main street. That's how they did it in Cotula. And you know,
I mean, if they're going to do the trunk or treat, they're not saying, hey, they're going to have a Halloween carnival, but make sure that the cars are 6 feet apart, make sure that it's different people. You don't have different people, different households there. Because, for example, some people say, well, let's say you got 3 friends that we all want to dress together, so we're all going to do it together and give it out. I said, no, it's only in the same
But
household.
the trunk or treat, them kids, the little bunch gonna go over to each trunk, go get some candy, so they're gonna be walking around to all them cars. I mean, I don't understand. I mean,
One suggestion I would have is wherever the trunk or treat is set up, a designated entrance and exit area, and then limit the capacity to that area where the vehicles are, so the kids can go into 50% of that area, so that there is not too many kids in there at once with families. We limit how many people can come in and out. Or the local jurisdiction, the city of Cotulla, city of Encinal, so forth.
so you're gonna have the kids going from car to car, pick up stuff. You're not, just a parade. Because we had that, so
You didn't invite me.
but I just don't understand how you're gonna get the kids, separate all the kids. I mean, you're just gonna have all the kids gonna go to one place one by one, or can everybody donate kids?
They're gonna be in their car. They're gonna be in their car.
But just you all gonna give candies. Nobody else gonna go.
No.
Well, anybody that registers for trunk or treat. So they register, they have their car, and they're going to be spaced in a slot. So what you determine a pre-picked slot. So we do it on Main Street, we do pre-picked slots, and they stop there.
Have y'all done it before? Have y'all done it before?
No, we're
Okay,
gonna.
we did it about 3 years ago in Cotulla. We done it in Cotulla 2 or 3 years ago. And like I said, right down Main Street, we just parked the cars, and kids are walking that way and kids are walking this way. I mean, I don't know how y'all.
But what they're doing a little bit different this
It's
year.
like a parade. They're
Yeah.
gonna be giving them from their car. They're not gonna get off.
The kids will be in the car, and they'll be on the ones outside.
Different tables from different.
But that what I mean, I want to know, are you the only ones going to give out candy, or you're going to have different people giving out more candies?
No, like we're gonna give out candy and red ribbon stuff and National Night Out stuff. The border patrols are gonna give their own bags of candy. GPS also, and whoever else joins us. We even invited the. elderly,
But the question is, the normal Ensenada resident, if they want to give candy, can they
No,
be?
no. No, it's
Okay, that's-
only for
that's what I
law
want.
enforcement.
Huh?
Law
Here's
enforcement.
a CDC. Participating in one-way trick-or-treating where individually wrapped goodie bags are lined up for families to grab and go while continuing to social distance, such as at the end of the driveway or at the edge of a yard. If you are preparing goodie bags, wash your hands with soap and water at least 20 seconds before and after preparing the bags. Having a small group outdoor open-air costume parade where people are distanced more than 6 feet apart. Attending a costume party held outdoors where proactive masks are used and people can remain more than 6 feet apart. A costume mask such as Halloween is not substitute for a cloth mask. A costume mask should not be used unless it is made of 2 or more layers of breathable fabric that covers the mouth and nose and doesn't leave gas around the face. Do not wear a costume mask over a protective cloth mask because it can be dangerous. If the costume mask makes it hard to breathe, instead consider using a Halloween-themed cloth mask. Going to an open-air, one-way walk through haunted forest where appropriate mask use is enforced and people can remain more than 6 feet apart. If screaming will be likely occur, a greater distance is advised. The greater the distance, the lower the risk of spreading a respiratory virus. Visiting pumpkin patches or where people use hand sanitizer before touching pumpkins or picking apples, wearing masks is encouraged or enforced, and people are able to maintain social distance. having an outdoor Halloween movie night with local family and friends with people spaced at least 6 feet apart. If screaming will likely occur, greater distance is advised. The greater the distance, the lower the risk of spreading the respiratory virus. Lower your risk by following CDC's recommendations on hosting gatherings or cookouts.
We're following all of that.
Look, one of the things that we can suggest is anybody that's giving candy away, if we do something to where they have a place where they park, that anybody's giving away, we can do the rapid testing for them. And that way we're secure that they're not giving, we can get that done. Said, hey, you're gonna get a slot, do rapid testing, that's the only thing you're gonna get. That, because some of the people from the community may wanna participate. And there's no guarantee that your law enforcement has not been exposed either, or EMS. So the best thing to do is, you know what? We have the capability of getting anybody that wants to be in a trunk or treat, be a person giving, you can get that tested that day, so you can get a booth. But if you're gonna be out there, you're gonna get tested.
But what they're talking about, that this is gonna be like a pre-Halloween thing. We still haven't discussed our Halloween procedure, what we're gonna do. This is just for our Red Ribbon, kind of a small town thing. It's not the Halloween that we're talking about yet. We still need to go in and discuss how we're gonna do that moving forward. I know a lot of people wanna have the Halloween, but this is just one procedure that we wanna try out and see how it works out. If it works out good, we're thinking about maybe doing it down Main Street and following our guidelines. But this is kind of a trial basis that we wanna try out.
Since we can't have our Halloween haunted house that we have every year, and Chief can't have his National Night Out or Red Ribbon, and so that's why we incorporated it all together. Which testing is not a problem. We've already tested about 8 times, so we'll.
But it doesn't
test.
matter, you can get re-exposed. You can
Yeah.
test 20 times and then you're
That's
gonna
what I'm
be
saying. We'll
exposed.
test again. I mean, it's not.
But-
it's not a big deal.
But that's something that people want to do. I mean, if you're gonna have your own event, that's fine, but when it comes to Halloween, we have a little bit of time to plan it. I encourage everybody to plan because the kids are gonna be out there regardless. So it'll be hard to stop it.
And I think our attorney, he added in the city council meeting that we followed the CDC guidelines, but we looked at different cities, what they were gonna do, and it was with what the commissioner was reading, where they're asking people, put your table outside on your driveway, at the edge of your street, make sure they're bagged up the candies, and people can go by there and pick up a bag of candy. You can do it that way, that's the way they have it. People wanna go around houses, if parents still wanna do that. Ours is a city function, and it's only a function it's a law enforcement function. That's what it is. It's not the whole community to be there and give out candies. No, it's us giving to the community so they can pass by there and pick up their candy. So that's what our function is, that parade. Now on Halloween, like Sunny said, they're gonna decide how they're gonna follow the guidelines for Halloween. They make those decisions by them.
The hardest thing is, I mean, you can have your function that you deal and making sure you protect the public. But on the other end is when people don't follow, then our resources get hit real heavy. Our EMS, our testing, all that gets really heavy. And I think there's gonna be a second round. So, and I think everybody is aware, and I think people wanna know what's aware. So you're gonna have that one event, but I was specifically talking about Halloween, nothing else. That was what it was in references order. We can leave it as is. The bars are gonna open and leave everything as is now and then come back and address it. But I think kids do want to have something, and if they're gonna open the bars and the school's already going, making sure that the protocols that Commissioner Ramirez read are followed is very important.
How can we control it, maybe on Halloween, like the commissioner was reading, how do we control like the people that want to give out candies here in the city? Because I can say, like, we'll go test the day before our event, but Halloween night, people from the community that want to give out candies, how are we going to control them? Do we tell them, if you want to give out candies, and we can put that in an order, if you want to give out candies, you got to get tested the day before and show us proof that you.
If you're gonna have a trunk or treat where everybody's there, you can have them tested. if we're going to allow them to go home to home, it's almost impossible to get them tested or to make sure they're going to follow the rules. I'm saying that you're going to have to pick an event. And, the only thing we're going to allow in this community is a trunk or treat. We're going to pick this big old area. They can do the parade. This is what we'll go through. And this is what we follow. And I'm sorry, but no other kids are going to be allowed in the street. It is.
Y'all are talking about Halloween night, right? Halloween day?
Yes. I mean, our numbers have been very low in the county, and I've seen in the whole district. Some of these other counties, like Edwards, are now coming up. So we've been very lucky that our numbers are low, but it's because everybody's been participating. Everybody's become conscientious. We've had things that people are being careful, and like I said, I know they're tired and the kids want to play, the kids want to get out. So you got to give them something, but we have to be the adults and figure something out. We don't have to decide. We can come back and address it. I don't want to get caught on this for 2 hours, but right now for the extension of the order, the bars have to be open. So we can shut them down, but we have to have a reason.
Right.
We have to have a reason to shut them down.
So if they're gonna open the bars, the maquinitas, are they gonna be able to give beer out or no?
Well, we can leave it alone. There's nobody from the Maquinitas here, so we're going to leave it alone until next time we meet.
Yeah.
What's the capacity for Maquinitas? 50%?
50%, and the bar's going to be at 50% too.
Judge, the only thing I would like to add is, although the ordinance in the city of Cotulla expired on mask, one of our biggest problems here in the past couple of weeks is people stop wearing masks inside businesses and so forth. It is still in the state order to wear masks, and it is punishable by a fine. For some reason, everybody thought since the local order did expire that they didn't have to. And so we've been out, Mr. Butterfield's been re-educating once again.
What I've mentioned before, and you want to work with the city, and you want to work with City of Cotulla, City of Ensenada, and even in mass gatherings, we want to incorporate what they want to do inside the city and make sure everybody is. But anytime there's any conflict with any order, the hierarchy, the pecking order, it's the municipal government, the county government, and then the state. So if we say in that the mask order continues, then it trumps the city order if they don't have one. So if the city's order didn't expire, then the county order will override it. And if there's something that's a conflict, then the county overrides it unless the state comes down and tells us you can't do that.
Yes, and we've just been doing, like I said, Mr. Butterfield, he's been doing a lot of re-education with positive results. People are wearing masks inside businesses again.
And we have enough masks to give those businesses that don't have any.
Correct.
As well.
Yes, sir.
So we can give it to them.
But and there's a lot of places there in town that you don't want to wear a mask, and they go in there without a mask, and the whoever's working there, they don't even tell them to put a mask on. I mean, they still serve them. Yeah, Valero is one of them.
They don't use them.
No.
So they don't care.
Yeah, they had one the other day. They gave him a mask and he went to the restroom. He threw it off and they came back without a mask again. And they gave one there. I mean, but I think just once they got the right to serve
It
everybody.
applies to everybody in or out, anybody coming into the county. And it continues.
I think that's a good idea. And then at a certain point, the re-education, it'll start being the citations. We've been doing this. This is 8 months to the day, or yesterday was 8 months since the COVID started. So this should be routine for everybody, the mask at the minimum. And just like I said, there's a select few in the county that just are not doing it.
So, I mean, I would suggest that we leave the order as is with the exception of the bars at 50%. And then maybe in a couple of weeks, we come back right before Halloween, and week before Halloween, we come back and decide what we want to do, decide what's best. Yeah. Ms. Alba, yes.
Excuse me to bring this up. Que cuando hacen sus porecitos en las casas,
Yes.
I mean, the reason I'm telling you because I've seen already 3, and I don't have to get out of my house. Ahí en la ventana, I can see one side, and I see the ones that are getting around there. I looked through the other window. I'm not out of my house, but I'm looking at that. And most of them don't wear masks. What are you gonna do in a case like that?
In a private place, you don't have to wear a mask, do you, Mendes?
Okay.
On a private place like your house, do you have to wear a mask?
On your private property, no.
No, man.
No. The only thing is if they're having a party and they got more than 10, it's possible they don't
Yeah.
have a permit, then it'd be, the city would have it. If the city doesn't take care of it, then somebody from the county should be called. But,
And that's what, we're gonna discuss, we're gonna approve the permits.
but it would only be if they got big groups, like a big party.
Entonces, sí.
What was it? The permit was for more than 100, no?
It changed to more than 10. The governor changed it more than 10. But see, because some cities have the order, then they may have a permit structure for 10 or more. If, like the city doesn't have it, if their order expired and representatives don't have an order, then ours is gonna carry over for inside the city limits too.
Okay.
That means no more than 10.
So we need to change the order to effect if there is no current order, then the city and the county order would
Supersede.
supersede it.
If it's more than 10, you're gonna get a permit. You need a
You're
permit.
supposed to.
Okay, because I mean, Thanksgiving is coming up too, I mean,
But, yeah,
In
and
your house, you're okay.
more than 10.
Yeah.
it's mass gathering, it's mass gathering, so that's what they were requiring. And we had left it inside the city limits for them, that takes care of most of ours. If they want to have a rodeo or something outside the city limits, they'd contact us for a permit, but, you know, it hasn't happened.
No.
I mean, we're not gonna be that picky. Use your judgment. You don't want a party that's too big. If it's a family having something together outside, as long as your space, if that house is not built to, if you got a 2-bedroom house and you got 40 people in it, you got a problem.
Yeah.
You got a problem.
Judge,
You know, so
But they're gonna be outside.
sometimes they are, sometimes it's cold, they're not. If they're watching football, they're not. They're all in there.
You just stay away.
So you gotta use your judgment. If the place is not that big enough, is it, come on, guys, take care of yourself.
Judge, and on the parks and the fields, the people wanna, come and,
As long as you
I mean, not
I mean,
the Little League or anybody, but
I mean,
people wanna come out and,
we can open the parks again. If we want to open the parks again, but they gotta stay 6 feet apart.
6 feet apart.
stay the distance.
So
Some people wanna come out, exercise or play around, just families.
We can open the parks, and the other thing that I was gonna say for the pool. I would consider letting the pool open for people that are disabled or need therapy only. For therapy only. There's some people that they need the therapy, whether it's a nursing home, and they do it on a reservation, on a reservation.
Yeah, correct.
Because there's some people that actually need the therapy and start opening up, see how it works.
That'll work.
Because we have the people there anyway. Might as well
Do something.
put them in. And I would make it effective the 15th. So let's go ahead and open the parks. We need to make sure they say 6 feet apart. The pool's gonna be open for, therapy and medical, necessity. What? Well, as long as they stay 6 feet apart,
See, they ain't gonna do it.
we just open it back up. 6 feet apart.
It's up to the people, porque they ain't gonna do it.
How you put 6 feet apart inside that doghouse?
See.
Well, that's the thing, and if they're playing league ball, then they may have to put a little barrier in the back and spread them outside and not put them on the dughouse.
Yeah.
Do they put them on? I was in San Antonio last week and none of the kids had them on.
I think the South County is the only one that's real picky. Because I've
Okay.
gone to tournaments and South County is the people that are just, oh, wait, look at.
No, but it's good because
Yeah.
because you have your numbers down. You have
Yeah.
your numbers down. But you know, hey.
Hey, I was in San Antonio last week.
The thing is, it's taking this long to open it up. If they're not going to wear their mask and they're not going to follow the rules and reference it, we just close it back down.
Yeah.
That's all we need to do. They need to understand. Said, and let them. It'd be the fire department and law enforcement. But what's going to happen if there's no enforcement? We just close it down. If there's a business that doesn't want to cooperate, we're just not giving them business. It hurts them more.
Our truck
We don't
stops
need to
have
be
been
playing
doing really
games. We
good,
don't
though.
need to be playing games with people's lives.
Our truck stops have been doing really good. Like, we haven't had any trouble with anything like that, not even with the little restaurants that we have here. We've been doing really good. So it was just one time came out of the truck stop, but other than that, I think it's been going pretty good here.
And just so the Commissioners Court knows, the bars can open at 12:01 a.m. tonight. So as soon as it clicks over to
It's the 15th, isn't it?
No, it's the 14th.
The 14th?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Okay, yes.
All right.
Okay, what you got, open bars, parks? Church?
Swimming pool.
Swimming
So
pool?
we're going to open swimming pool for special needs or therapy, doctor's orders, bars at 50%. Restaurants go to 75%. You said the parks,
Maquinitas?
the maquinitas remain as the same. Everything else remains the same. Masks continue. I don't know what else. Just leave it at that.
Maquita continue, but no beer, right?
No beer.
No beer?
smoke.
No beer. The COVID spraying, I would say at the COVID spraying that some of this we're not going to get reimbursed until after FEMA, until the disaster. So it's a lot of expense to carry. So you bought the equipment for the sprayers. In some of these cases, it's probably cheaper to buy Lysol and give them to the JP offices. So to start buying Lysol and then,
It's hard to find Lysol.
huh?
It's still pretty hard to find Lysol.
Well, we got to get something, but this month was 12,000, last month was 8,000. We're still spraying some private business, Lowe's and Gaddis Pharmacy, but I'm not sure if we're going to carry it that long. We spent almost $400,000 already in testing, overtime, spraying. We've got about $350,000 in reimbursement. So at this point on, we start carrying it. So we may carry it for a year. If this thing lasts for a year, we'll carry those expenses for a year. But we did get sprayers. We do have chemical to do our own spraying.
We also have a lot of disinfectant for those offices, and the Lysol spray through the supplier. We can get it a little different than going to the store and buying it. We can get it in bulk, so we can issue out a can per office per week. That way they can disinfect themselves.
I'd say we give them 2 weeks to come back, or what we need to do is take proposals from other people to see what kind of pricing we'll get.
Yeah,
If you want to do, we can get proposals. But I'm going to be straight up. There's been some times, and I saw the bill that was brought up to me, was they did the in-and-out jail and the fire station over here. And then the bill shows next day that they came over here to Precinct 2, JP office. So it doesn't make sense that you do that unless they weren't there. It's possible they weren't there. But there's some things on the bills don't look right. and need to talk to Carlos about it. And I will, but it costs us every time you do the jail over here, it's like $1,400. It's a big facility. And it's a lot of money. And we need to make sure that someone's gonna be in charge of making sure that they test the sprayer, that making sure the chemical is being put in. So you gotta have someone that says, okay, I'm gonna go watch them, mix it up this time, and next month we'll do it. So you do random testing.
Yes.
But
Huh?
Judge, now you're saying that you all got some sprayers too?
Yes, we have two
If
sprayers.
y'all need some help, I can volunteer one of my guys, y'all can teach them how to do it, and, if y'all need help, we can help you out.
I think we can get the chemicals just fine. We only need one of the sprayers. After every EMS call, they spray the unit down. The other one can be utilized within the county.
It's possible that it's possible that he may want to bid and come back. We've asked him for his liability insurance and he has not provided it. One of our employees slipped and fell on the wet spot and hurt herself. She did hurt herself. She filed a workman's comp claim. But they're supposed to have, anybody that works on a county building is supposed to have insurance. Kind of like when you had your motor grader,
Yeah.
you had to go get insurance. Well, these contractors have to get insurance if they're going to work on the county building itself. If they're doing a fence or something else, yeah, you can push that aside on the end, but the building itself is supposed to have insurance, and it's in the policy. So we asked it. So I mean, unless we have better oversight, I'm saying we'll give them a 2-week notice. We need this information, or we're going to cancel you.
On that one, Danny, what would be your recommendation, when to come spray, or instead of them just showing up whenever they want, kind of regulate it,
For high occupancy, i.e. the county courthouse once a week. As far as the jails, should be twice a week at the minimum. The fire department, of course, the ambulances, we have our sprayers, and we disinfect all the time. So at this time, I would say they don't even need to be at the fire stations anymore. And then any other county facility down here, JP offices, maybe once a week. But although, like I said, I think at this point we can supply the disinfectant for the smaller offices and they can do it on their own.
It could be really helpful, but you need a schedule. It doesn't do anything to get sprayed 2 days in a row.
No, you're right.
Unless you're going to do it every day in a row, completely. And that's what Mary had asked for, a schedule. So we need the schedule completely.
And what he's spraying is supposed to last about 7 days. So there's no reason like on that bill for 2 days for here.
Every other day?
Every other day or so forth.
But what I'm looking at is the cost. I'm not sure we're going to get reimbursed. Can we afford it? Yes. He needs to do some part on his own. I think Mary reached out. I'll send him a letter. Said, hey, you got 2 weeks to do this.
Like on our area, if we can get some Lysol, get a hold of some Lysol, something, we probably won't need them over there either.
I think we can get Lysol because I know we managed to get quite a bit of Lysol. I don't know how many cans you have, probably about 10 left.
And I still have some too.
And then I know the girls have some, but I think I can get, I think I can find some.
Walmart,
I understand just like on some of the bigger buildings, we might need them or Denny, but I don't, Mary and Margie and the other offices, I don't know what they think, if they think they can spray, Lysol or something, and have them maybe come instead of every week and maybe once a month, and they can spray Lysol or cut the man cost back.
But the first thing is that she needs the insurance, the liability insurance. That has to be done.
Yeah.
We need the liability insurance. And the second thing is getting a schedule to be done. And we need to negotiate some things that he's doing that I think can be done cheaper. That can be done cheaper. The big buildings is very understandable. The prisons is very understandable. Nutrition centers where they have kitchens is very understandable to continue the business.
Yeah.
But on the smaller ones where you don't even have people coming in, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So to continue at this point, unless the traffic changes. So the hardest thing is you hate to stop and have to continue again because it starts over. And at the same time, he needs to make his money, but we expect some things to be done too. And if it's billing errors, he needs to get on top of his billing, get after his staff on the billing because it doesn't make sense. When you come to and say, now let's spray, and then you come back the next day, you're not going to do that. The JP's office, you got one bill for JP number 3, and then Adriana's the next day it's for her when they're right next to each other. So it doesn't make sense that you have the bills. When they're in the building, take care of it all. And if they have a schedule, then people know to be there. So it's possible on his defense that maybe George was there, maybe Adriana wasn't there, said, I'll come back tomorrow. You know, being a devil's advocate.
Or maybe he just wanted to share his double.
Or, yeah, but getting the schedule gives everybody a chance to be there. The thing is, he is charging for each office. In the bill that we get, it's $160 for George's, $160 for Adriana's.
Yeah, man, Ariana's real small.
It's very small. And you can buy, 10 cans of Lysol for that. Or 12 cans of Lysol. Hot Lysol's still $10 a can.
You can do it once every other day.
Nobody walks in there anyway.
One can.
Nobody goes in there.
At Ariana's.
But the bigger places like this or the jail, you need somebody. So now that we know and we have a protective gear, how do you streamline those services? So you bring those people to the table. Okay, what are we going to do? What do we get out? Where we want our money to go, where it's being protected. And then he's able to plan long-term as well. You don't want to cut his food service, but we need to discuss those bills and,
Okay.
But it may be to the very end that we get reimbursed. It does qualify for reimbursement, so it isn't very eligible expense. And we may do a trial run to see if we can get reimbursed by FEMA earlier. So, but I said for now, let's give them 2 weeks. We want the schedule, we want the insurance. Otherwise, it stops.
Judge, on the conference I went to Abilene, they mentioned that only 12 counties have applied for the FEMA reimbursed. I mean, are we in it?
They have some different ones to TDEM and the governor's office. And I don't think we've applied through the governor's office yet.
No, we've done TDEM, CARES Act, which was federal government, and
Yeah, they mentioned that one.
and then FEMA. She's been working on the paperwork. She's working with Carl on that one.
There's
As
only-
far as our wages since March for public safety, they just started working on that last week. She got all the information, so her and Carl are going to work on that one to get reimbursed. And she is looking at FEMA and some other different ones for.
We probably need to put the application for the governor's office anyway, and just submit it anyway. Because we're looking at a different pot of money, but you're right. I saw that there's only a few.
There's 12 in the northern side of Texas.
And Fernando had showed us that. And target that. Yeah, there's different pots of money.
And there's 254.
Huh?
And they mentioned there's 254 counties and only 12 have applied.
One of the hardest things with FEMA, and I'm going to tell you, one of the hardest things with FEMA that's been scary, that we've had disaster events before, whether it's flood or fire, and FEMA has never reimbursed our county in its history. It's never reimbursed us.
Mhm.
So even when we've had other events, so that's why I'm saying, yes, it's eligible, but I don't know at the end of the day if FEMA is. The governor's office has a better chance for us to get that FEMA money through the governor's office than we do straight from FEMA.
Yeah, it's hard to get it straight.
So it's like these state agencies got money from the CARE Act. The governor got a chunk, DPS got a chunk, you know, some of the housing assistants got a chunk. The teachers got another chunk, and then they put them out in like little mini grants. And the CARES Act is just a mini grant because we only got like 200,000. City got 200,000. I don't know what Ensenada got, like 15,000, 20,000.
33,
Huh?
33, from the CARES Act,
Yeah,
33,000.
which is very, very little. So they just gave us,
Little tiny bits.
so you have to go after all those other little bits.
And she's more up to speed now, and she's working, and her and Carl have established that relationship, and then they're corresponding with Mary through the process.
So I would say in this part of the order that we just continue the spraying until we can meet with Carlos in executive session under contract negotiations and meet with him in executive session.
I'll make the motion.
So that would be it.
I'll make the motion.
So motion's been made to extend the order. Bars will open 50%, restaurants 75%. Maquinitas will continue as is with no alcohol. Parks will open. The pool will open for medical purposes. The spraying will stop after 2 weeks, but we will renegotiate it. Is there anything else?
So how long is that pool gonna open? How late?
Just the regular hours.
3 hours.
That they had, but only for those people. You give it a trial run. We have the employees who've been paying them. So that should be better. So motion's been made in second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those
Aye.
opposed, same sign.
I like it second.
I'll second it.
Oh, you second it?
Nobody did, but I will.
Well, I thought you seconded
Thought
it.
you-
All right. Okay, put the motion back in. There's a motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. I gave you the note from the Catula Library. They were asking for additional furnishings in the amount of I think I sent you an email. I think it was like $2,000. Let me see. Nora. Yes, I think I sent you an email. Were you able to open your email? Can we see it? Okay. I think I sent it to you. Just printed the wrong email out.
Yeah, I saw it, Josh. I couldn't remember the total, but
So in reference to the library, we can take that out of the construction fund. But I told her we had to come back to the Commissioners Court to address it.
I'll make the motion, Judge.
Motion's been made. And second,
Are you-
1687 with 47
we have to give it
cents.
back to Mary, but
47 cents.
motion's been made and second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. The next one is the Water Resources Company. We went out for bids for the water treatment center. Paul Rylander got me the contract for the water treatment
At the dialysis center.
for the Dallas Center.
Motion to accept the agreement.
Yeah, because that's what they bid out. If we don't, then we won't finish it.
I'll make the motion.
The price, the base bid price was 176,436. Additions, consumables not to exceed 8,134. I think there's one more item that I saw. Well, that was it.
Double check.
So we had the attorneys read the contract, so I included it in your proposal. So the motion's been made to accept. Commissioner Ayala, is there a second?
Second.
What happened to the rate, Judge?
No, I'll get back to it. Motion's been made and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Number 8, discussion possible action to agree interlocal agreement with the city of Cotulla, city of Ensenada. We agreed to do an interlocal for city and describe what streets, and I said I'd bring it back to see what streets you wanted me to add to the agenda. We haven't done one with Ensenada, but what we also had not put into it was the pest control and the debris collection that you do. So
That's on
I
site.
added that, but what we need from you is to review what you have and add the streets that you want to add. We need to do that because the old one was only good for 180 days, and Lucia's typed the new one is for 360 days, but we want to put the pest control and the debris collection, and Mr. Doblina said he was happy. That would be for the same thing for Ensenada. We need from you to decide what streets you worked on, what streets you want to work on. If we have to, we'll come in from Cotulla and we'll help do some streets. Not all of them. We'll pick some of them. But we'll pick some, huh?
No más dos calles.
But, well, I mean, whatever we do, it helps. Whatever we do, help. Huh?
We appreciate anything, like I said, or the other day that I spoke, the commissioners, guys, and the commissioner have been really good. They help us, anytime we ask for help. And,
But-
we just do need some streets that need to be taken care of and some big brush that just needs to be taken down.
Lucia's been working on an interlocal for me. We made some changes, but we need to add whatever streets that you work on and whatever you want to work on, and that way, it does. The other thing is the debris collection. I don't know if you have a place to collect it, but we do have 100 acres here in the back of the prison. In the back of the prison. We have 100 acres, but as long as it's brush, we don't want dressers, we don't want anything else, and only us to access it.
Ramas.
Yeah, only brush, only. Very
But
specific. Huh?
Would that be like a quarterly thing, or once every 6 months, or what?
Well, that's for us. I mean, to decide, we can do it once every 6 months or, but at least a place to do. But we have to decide, go look at it over there, see if we can clean out a place, but just brush, grass, no tires, we don't want trouble with TCEQ.
Yeah, no, have, actually, we have
Toothbrush.
an agenda item
Huh?
about TCQ today.
Toothbrush.
Que se compre una mulcher.
Or, yeah, we can buy mulcher and mulch it.
We have a small one that we use, that we pick up sometimes, because we don't always pick up, but we do pick up sometimes.
But I put it on the agenda for that purpose. Let's identify the streets in Ensenada. Let's look at that place for, if we can, because it is 100 acres all the way back there.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean, so they can throw out limbs, stuff like that, or
Las
what?
ramas.
And how about in Cotula?
Well, Cotula, we're part owners of the airport. We just need to get with the city.
No, I mean the city part.
Huh?
I mean the city part precinct. Precinct 2, yeah? 6. I mean, are you gonna clean over there too, or just here?
Plus, it works both ways. We come help him, he has to come help us.
Dale.
Huh?
Go both ways.
It has to work both ways. We just pick on a calendar, we just do it because if you say, okay, come on, I want you right now, you just can't do it. Let's just pick on a calendar. These are the dates that we're gonna work on.
We've been working on ours for a long time.
I know, but what happens with the interlocal is sometimes the city asks you to work here, work there, but they don't update the interlocal, like you're doing the work right there at Wendy's. But we need to make sure, the city puts it in writing, because what happens is, well, we never asked them to do that. And then it leaves you,
Oh, the city's
So-
gonna pay for that material, Judge. The city's
but
gonna-
even though they pay the material, you got your equipment, and that's what the law says, that you gotta have an interlocal.
It's their
And
property.
it keeps people from getting in trouble, but it also keeps,
Yeah, but we already got that in agreement that we're gonna help the city, right?
Yes, but we're updating it because it has to list each street.
Okay.
And the same thing for Ensenada, it has to list every street. So, and like I said, keeps people, from criticizing you that, well, you're doing it without it, because you've been doing it all along. You all been doing it throughout the year now,
Yeah.
so for a while now, but this agreement, it actually keeps people from getting in trouble. Saying, well, because the specific use of road and bridge funds is very specific unless you have an interlocal. So the interlocal,
But it makes our town look a lot better now.
yes, but remember that you're using road and bridge funds and they're designated. And unless you have an interlocal, it becomes an illegal expenditure of those funds. So if you don't have it in writing from them and you don't have it in writing here, it's considered a misappropriation of funds and assets. So that's why I keep chasing you. Not that I want to get you in trouble. I'm trying to keep people from getting in trouble, because everywhere else you see people get in trouble. And it doesn't take much. It doesn't have to be someone from this community. So the same thing with the brush control. Hey, it's a city purpose. They pay city taxes. They should do it. But some cities are very limited based on the incorporated areas. So they can't raise enough money to cover everything. So that's where we come in. So get a helping hand. But if you use a lot of your resources too, then you're not going to be able to get to your bridges, to your road repairs. So you got to balance it out.
And when we do a street for the first time, then it's up to them to continue fixing it. And it don't work like that. They make a pozo and they put caliche instead of putting black soil. Black top.
Because it's
I know.
Because it's happened here with some of the roads that we repaired, we redid over here. Then they cut them for water lines and so forth, and they just put, so it looked bad. So you got all these squares cut into all this road that's been done.
Instead of them cutting it real nice, make it square. No, they don't. They just go out there and dig it like you're talking.
So
That's the issue that we have with the water, that they dig everywhere, and
And
we
then
ask for them to
peor que
come for permits,
armadillo.
and they still, sometimes they try to get out of it, but we have told, like, I remember a while back when y'all had just built the streets, they went and tore up that street, and not that we're telling, but I mean, come on, you're barely paying millions of dollars. on the street.
we've seen it, but if they're going to cut it right, put it back right, to where it's
That's one of the things before we move forward with this, we have to also get waterworks involved. Because if we go ahead and fix one of these roads, they come in and tear it, then, that work's gonna be done for nothing.
On the, what they've done to the city right now on the county roads that we did, I mean, we can go back and ask them to fix them. But you don't want to give them authority to the right to do whatever they want to your roads. Right now, anything inside the city limits belongs to you. So if they're cutting it up, then you have to hold them accountable. What happens is many times you don't have the attorneys to do so. But when we do the interlocal, that anything we help, then we will assist you with that as well. In the collection and cleaning. And we can add to it. And you're right, I mean, we don't have to do it right away, pero it has to get done.
And we get together with the commissioner with the streets, or what do we do before you do the interlocal agreement, or?
Well, we'll send you a copy and you start making changes, we'll bring it back to the agenda.
Thank you all so much.
Huh? Yeah, well, we were planning to pave up here as well, along this too. I think you had a plan, right, Jorge?
Huh?
Jorge and Jack had a plan to do a loop around here, so they'd been working on that. All right,
Make the motion
we'll motion to table,
table it or approve it. Table it.
table. Because I want copies in your hand, and I think we sent some in your email, look at it. Who second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now it's 3:01. Did you want to take a 15-minute break
Yes.
before we go? And I think we'll finish it up right after that. Is there a motion for a 15-minute break?
Motion, Raul.
Let me go back from.
Yes. Ta.
All right. Motion's been made and second to go back into open session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Number 11, discussion possible action update from Solteria Solutions, 911 Communication Center, online version of Safety Rocks educational program. Chamber brochure design progress, FINZA grant progress, and other items. Michelle?
Double check.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Sure.
I have a couple of emails. I know earlier Don was joining by Zoom. I don't know if he's still here, but.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Don, do you want to cover the first one, or you want me to just read the update?
I can talk about that first one for you. In fact, I just got off the phone with the chief deputy. He had just visited with Lucas, who is en route. Took a tool this afternoon to switch over the 911 finishing pieces with the idea that the dispatchers would actually be moved in tomorrow into the new dispatch center and be functional.
Ay, ya, qué bruto.
Don's at the beach.
I doubt he's at the beach. He's probably held up with his wife and, you know,
Did my audio come through?
yeah.
Okay.
Don, are you at the beach or are you being held captive by your wife at your home?
I am being held captive, but it is a nice picture.
When do you anticipate coming back to that the move is going to take place?
For the dispatch move,
Yes.
I believe it's going to happen tomorrow. When I talked to Chief Deputy a while ago, he said as soon as Lucas can make the final changes this afternoon, they'll be ready to move the dispatchers over. So I think that's definitely going to happen tomorrow. We still don't have all of the software products from Motorola. But talking with Earl, there's about 20 other communities across the United States in the same boat we are with the Avtech software that Motorola is using, especially with the Apex radios. So we've got a workaround in there right now. The dispatchers can communicate with all of the units, fire, police, EMS, and Border Patrol. It just doesn't do the ID show up on the screen when they're talking. And they have to do a little bit of work if they want to change channels. But otherwise, it's functioning just basically like they would today at the old jail. So with that said, thought was go ahead and move them over and start utilizing some of the new equipment. And so that, I think, is a good thing for us.
Now, if they're going to be coming over, and you said utilize the equipment they have, when do you anticipate the software changes from Motorola?
From what Frank is telling me, the last word we got from Motorola was 2 to 3 weeks. I'll be real honest with you. My past experience, when we went through some software changes in Austin years ago, I was almost 6 months in when we were still running down some of the bugs and fixes. So I'm not going to get my hopes up that we'll see that gateway fix that they're claiming is the problem. But right now, I think they're still telling 3 weeks out that they may have that fixed. And then once they do that, supposedly it's an easy software upload. And then that allows the Apex radios to work correctly with the new computers.
Anything else? Don, I guess Michelle will bring you in on the progress on the PHMSA grant.
Yes, we have a few things to discuss. We were going to discuss the online version of Safety Rocks also. One of the things I haven't really I don't think I've got to tell all of the commissioners that Safety Rocks won a National Communication Award. The distinct recognition they got is for the multimedia learning and all the different facets, how we have the Stewart City Reef that was once here and the geological aspects, and focusing on lesson plans of safety and applying it, all of that as a active learning. So we would like to take the Safety Rocks next step further and take it online. We already have the safetyrocks.com website, but we'd like to just add additional lesson plans where kids can do it online and get different rewards and badges for each progressive stage of Safety Rocks lessons. That's kind of the next phase that we would like to do. On the PHMSA grant, we're wrapping up the grant. We've found areas for improvement for the training. We have discussed several months ago, we talked about doing the dispatcher training. And I know we still want to do that soon. It was delayed for a few reasons, but we do have the online dispatcher training that we would like to roll out at some point for the dispatchers. I didn't know if the commissioners were aware of that. I'm sorry, I can't breathe with this mask on. And we've been working with, for the past few months, we've been working with the Cotulla Chamber to help them with a brochure. I don't know if you all remember how we had the nice brochure for the FEMA grant event. Do the commissioners remember that? We've been working with the chamber staff to do a brochure for them. It's kind of turned into really helping their brand and helping them focus on what they want to have a message out for strategic planning and how they would advocate themselves and help them more focus in a professional manner for their marketing and the businesses locally. So that brochure is coming together. I can't think of, do y'all have any questions about anything?
No.
I can give an update on the Encinal Fire Station overhead doors. I think Judge and Commissioners would like to kind of hear how that's come along over the last several months. Been working with Summit Construction, Frank's Architects, and Southern Dock Products, which is a company that works on docking doors, commercial style doors. They were out this last week, changed out the cables on all of the doors, all 8 doors at the Encinal station, checked the drums, the spooler drums for wear. What's going to happen now is they've ordered the parts to repair the one damaged door. That probably will take a couple of weeks for that to come and repair that door. But the agreement we have right now is that in 3 months, Southern Dock will be back, look at all the cables again on all the doors. At 6 months, they will be back to look at the cables, and at 9 months to come back and look at the cables. And what we're trying to do is make sure, because the problem has been that the cables fray and break. And right now, Overhead Door Company has not been real helpful trying to identify the problem. So what we want to do by putting these heavier cables on is now see if we're going to have the same kind of wear on those cables that might cause those to weaken and break. We think we possibly have the fix, but we won't know that for several months to make sure, see what happens with the new cables, and then keep an eye on these spooler drums where the cable spools up, has to cross over itself. possibly these bigger cables won't have the wear that the little ones did. But again, that's why we want to do the 3 month, 6 month, and 9 month checks. In that same time period, Southern Dock will also be doing maintenance on the doors, on the rollers, and the big overhead springs. So those are all, that's kind of been resolved. There's no cost to the county. Summit Construction has stepped up and said they will take care of those costs. And then we'll see if we've actually fixed the problem. At the end of that time period, if we have to do something else, we may actually work with Summit to do other changes. But right now, the doors are going up and down, and the damaged door will be replaced here within the next couple of weeks.
I think that's everything unless you all have any questions.
One of the things that might be something for the future is what Danny had talked about in reference to trying to set up an academy here. I think Danny had mentioned it. And Don had covered it. When we've had some people that we've hired in the past that go to the academy, we may want to do our own academy and let them get hired here, try to go to the academy here. I mean, they would take the test, but they'd train through the fire department. A lot of it is online, but work is hard. And some of the firemen that may not want to come over here, there might be some young men that may want to work or become firemen. So that's something we may want to talk about, that we open it up to some other people getting hired. Maybe some people that were at oil field now want to give it a shot. So we keep those jobs here.
So does that mean like people from out of town too can come to the academy?
We're looking to try to Cotulla people, Cotulla LaSalle people. The out of town people, they're qualified, they get hired because they're qualified. We're talking some people that are not qualified, give them a chance to work. They train with the fire department, they take the testing online, they get paid a small salary while they're testing. And if they pass, they become a fireman. If they don't pass, then you know.
Yeah, but so it's just gonna be just local people. I mean, local.
Yeah,
people
try and
here.
get some.
Yeah, it'd be just local people. It's allowable for local people, but you give a chance.
That age bracket that you really kind of look for is that 19 to 23 up to 26. As they go through that academy, once they finish the academy, test out with the state, that would mean if they're become a firefighter EMT, which means any fire department in the state of Texas can actually hire them. So we would be turning out a quality product in those young people coming through. One of the first steps, and I had talked with the judge, and I think I talked to Noni about this, of taking that old Connex box that's over in the impound area, and actually maybe this month or next month, start converting that over to a little burn building so that we can actually do some live fire burns, which is a requirement that we need for the fire department as it is right now. And we get credit for that through our ISO, which we'd like to maybe this next year, see if we can move from our 5 down to a 3, which I think we probably can with just a little bit of work. That would impact those insurance premiums across the board for residents, commercial, everything within our coverage area. So we've got that opportunity, and with the burn building, then that allows us to do our live fire burns with our cadets. So once we can get that kind of in place and think about the possibility of starting that academy in the fall of 21, which gives us time to look at some recruiting, put together any other infrastructure that we have to have, and then put together a class. And I would say that first class should be a small group, maybe 9 to 12 people. That gives you an optimal number to work with. It's not too big. You can do a lot of one-on-one that you may have to do. So I think we have the real potential to put together a pretty good fire academy program that would include the EMT training program along with the fire department.
Don, had we discussed we may partner with one of the universities, potentially UTSA? I can't remember.
Yes. Right now, UTSA has a fire academy program that they do. We'd like to kind of visit with them to see if we could not partner up that way. All of our training, the cadets would actually get college credit hours towards an associate's degree through that program. We just have to have that facility or that academic part of it covered with one of the universities. And because they do have a fire academy program, they may be the ideal one to work with. Now, talked about at one point in time, A&M over at Kingsville as a possibility, but UTSA may be the better facility to look at.
That's all I have at this time.
Do you need any action from us?
I don't believe so.
I think I've already got your thumbs up to move forward on the burn bill, and I've talked to Noni about the possibility of using some of his personnel to assist in making the cuts in that building. I've talked to the Battalion Chief Gilbert Martinez about the design of that building, the layout where the cuts would have to be. And I think we're really to kind of move forward on it. We were waiting for some cooler weather to kind of come forward so that we can actually start some of that work on that building. So I would hope this month, if possible, we could actually start some of that work.
I appreciate the work that you're doing. Anytime we can try to save or create jobs locally, we appreciate it. So we can look at it at a later date. I know the Safety Rocks, you're working in-house with the school, providing those classes. So that program is good and people should look at it. So thank you for getting the national recognition. I don't know about online. It might be interesting, but it's so much better when the school pushes it. And it's right now it's a good time to reorganize and do all that for them.
We've continued to have meetings online and conference calls with Dina Tetzlaw. She's a teacher within Cotulla ISD, and we've been getting her feedback along the way. She's a science teacher, so she's really helped to give us ideas for that integration.
So the other part of that is, I don't know when the school's going to resume, or if you've been in contact with the school, but it's, important that you continue that relationship with the school.
Yes.
I had something on top of my head that I was I mentioned you were working on a chamber brochure.
Yes.
What's been the progress?
I want to email you all what we have so far. I've put together a lot of text to try to position their branding in a more professional way. I think I was mentioning it earlier, but to give them something that they can market themselves and assist the businesses in LaSalle County, Cotulla, assist them in having a better polished approach themselves, but giving them kind of a conduit. I know a lot of what they're doing right now is on Facebook and some other things, but what we had discussed behind the scenes is giving them just a better polished brand look to update what the potentials here is for supporting businesses and to attract businesses. I know they've been losing a lot of member business, and it seems like they really need to brush up things to keep members and keep doing new innovative things to sell themselves.
Part of Michelle's created a brochure, that way she can get the investment from other members, because what's happened in the last few years is we've had more nonprofits reach out to us. And like for chambers of commerce, we'd helped them for 2 years in a row. This would be the third. But the laws are very specific that we cannot help a chamber of commerce.
Not supposed to.
We're not supposed to. It's like the rodeo as well. They're a nonprofit, but we can't. We can help the stock show. Only one stock show, but we can't do events all year round. So, and when you go through the audit, they start telling you, well, you can't do this and you can't do that. You know, you can do the library, you can do, like I said, one stock show for the kids. You can do the food pantry, anything that benefits to the public, what we're doing. But when we started having a little bit more money, all of it, and everybody started targeting it. So Michelle's help is supposed to bring them back in. You know, or we give money for the, you know, to be purchased on food, and the program hasn't been done yet. So we need to make sure that it gets out there. So through the LEPC, the fire department, the law enforcement has been really able to get grants, or like Pioneer and all these other companies that donate E&P, they give to us because we have those meetings, we're active with them. So they come in, whether it's Lewis, well, they got to reach out too. They got to reach out. So that's part of the purpose, is trying to show them how to reach out and expose them to those resources to where they can get the money coming in themselves.
Yes, we've talked about if some of the local industries, how they can engage with them also. So,
And the last time I included those opinions from the Attorney General in that folder, you all, so you can look at, but that was reason because there was other people in the chamber. Well, why are you helping us? You're not supposed to, you know. Started looking it up. I said, yes. And said, you know what, we better look at all of them. I said, so that's why you had all those there. So I don't have any other questions for Michelle, unless you all have more questions for Michelle. It's just been an odd year.
indeed. Thank you all.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioner.
Number 12, discussion and update on Texas Historical Commission courthouse monitoring. The Texas Historical Commission is going to be doing an audit of the courthouse. That means you're going to come in from the state, make sure all the doors are there, all the bathrooms are there, making sure that we're keeping the courthouse up. So it was an $8 billion project. So they're going to be doing an audit in the next month or so. I sent you a copy of the email. Nothing bad because everything that's been done has been through the Historic Commission. Kilis Almond is doing all the AC repairs through the Historic Commission. So everything is being done according to what they want. So we should be fine. But just to let you know, I sent you a copy of that email. That's what's happening.
Okay.
Now I'm going to jump down to number 18 and 19. Sheriff. Number 18, discussion possible action on authorization of sheriffs to solicit professional personnel with experience to conduct exit audit of all weapons, evidence, narcotics, radio, computer equipment, phones, tablets, and establishing backup procedures for all hard drives and necessary passwords for the sheriff's office and jail.
He's not here.
The judge will step outside.
And I told him that we were going to have to. I mean, he can come back, but this is what's happened. Several years ago, we had some narcotics missing, and there was a sheriff that got in trouble, and it created all sorts of problems. There's different agencies that can do an audit. This is evidence. So since he's leaving, the best thing for you to do is to get an audit from an agency and get those proposals and get them to us so we can approve them. Because that way, when he leaves, all the narcotics, all the drugs, all the evidence is accounted for. It has to be. You only got 3 months now. Second thing, weapons. They got county-owned weapons that they use for their own protection that we've bought. They also have evidence, weapons that they've seized.
Confiscated, yeah.
So all those weapons need to be audited and recorded to where when he leaves, they can't say, well, this is gone, this is not, everything is here. It works both ways. If something's missing, then we'll find out before he goes. The same thing with radios. 911 got after me several years ago, several times. We've had the discussion. And I don't know if Don is still on the line. We've had some heavy discussion. Even before Miguel, the radios have been out. They have serial numbers. And there's radios we could not account for. Some of them are old. They might be obsolete or be broken, but we can't account for them. So we have the ability to cancel those radios that are no longer accounted for. So Middle Rio gave us a listing of all those radios, and the ones that we don't know, zap them. When I say zap them, is they can turn them off to where nobody has access to them. But once again, you hire someone to do the radio inventory, to get it done. That way we record it, and then all the radios are accounted for. And the same thing, computers. We got computers going out. We got some iPads going out, and we got cell phones. Many times when they leave the cell phone, they lock it, and the phone's no good. So before they get their last paycheck, you know what? Give us a phone with all the codes. And it's happened before with some other officials, other employees, to where we don't get the iPad for 6 months after they leave office. And you got to chase it down. You know, and even employees. I've had some employees. I had one employee that when he got the iPad, you know, had to go pick it up. But you get used to this equipment. It's very useful and it's helpful, but it belongs to the county. So if it gets locked up, then it's almost no good. I mean, the security is really, really good. So Mary has to have that from everybody. So we need a procedure that we get that done. So the question would be for the sheriff to go ahead and get his proposals, get them back to us to solicit professional personnel with experience to conduct an audit of all weapons, evidence, narcotics, radio, computer equipment, phones, and tablets. And then the backup procedure, I think you're doing it already, Louis, where you're backing everybody up.
Yeah, there's some process, but it has to be done.
Yeah, and everything gets wiped out, it's done. So we had to restore your office. And then we also had other situations. We got blackmailed or jacked with by a third party where Victor restored everything. So that backup was very, very important. But so the sheriff, I think we talked about this a couple months ago. So you have somebody that may be able to do the audit for you? Yeah, that way it don't take too long. That way it take too long, but that way everything is accounted for. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I was hearing what you were saying, like when somebody quits or we terminate somebody, they resign, we do the same thing. We tell Mary like they don't give them the check until they bring all the stuff, because sometimes people tell you we're gonna bring that stuff to you later, and sometimes they don't bring it because sometimes once they know they're not employed, they don't care, you know, because they say, well, I only got 3 shirts or 2 pants, and like the judge said, when I came in here, remember, just I collected some radios that some of the other people had, some of the EMTs that were there before, and I had to go kind of threaten, you know, because I collected like 4 or 5 radios that they had taken, you know, from the previous, you know, EMTs.
But that way, if you have somebody done, there's probably some radios floating around, either they're old or not in use. But then you can also go ahead and turn them off, you know.
Right. And we did that to someone because, as a matter of fact, when we remember that one time they told that somebody had a radio that they had got it from us, but it actually was when we keyed the gate when we opened the gate in the impound. And we didn't know, and I'm glad he told us, sometimes we might say things that we don't want the people to hear. And so while we were keying the mic, because he told me one time, I can hear music, and And I'm glad he noticed that because we check and it was every time we open the gate, like for maybe like 5 seconds, you can hear like, we hear the radio, you hear the music, and then you hear the voices. And some people were playing cumbias, like deputy. So sometimes they thought we're in a bar, but we found out that what was the problem. But because I know we had already looked, and Joy is good about keeping inventory and everything. On stuff like that, every time somebody leaves, and we always, make sure that we have a list. When Roll was there, she was doing that for us, and we kept pretty good record of the people. They had like just the guns, the shotgun, the M4s, the gear. We gave them the shirts. So I think we pretty good. We pretty good shirt. I myself that I can lead to more. They can come and share. I don't have nothing that I don't get into. It's only business. It's only kind of business that I use my computer. But it's a good idea, that way, I'm leaving and then, the other second comes, he can, everything be good for him and good for me too. So it's a good idea.
I know that you probably keep track and you really don't use other employees sometimes are upset and they do things and we've seen it in the past. So it's not always the official. Sometimes it's the employee that, and do you have software, well, Logic or Hill Country or whatever you use that we need to make sure that we get those passwords? Victor may already have them, but that way everything is done on a control deal.
Yeah, and we can.
Yeah.
Joe's good about that, and I think we work good with Joe and with Louis and Victor, whatever they need, because they can tell you. I give them my key. I don't have to be there. They can come anytime if they want to check my computer. They're welcome to check my computer. I mean, another thought that
I mean, it's like my computer. I only got word processor. I don't have
Yeah.
pictures. I don't have family members. I don't have anything.
I don't
It's
know.
always been like that. And my secretaries have my passwords, but not everybody does that.
Well, we know. I know.
So some people that work for you for many years, they have the computer, they feel upset. So the best thing to do is if you're going to do an audit already of the narcotics, of the weapons and the radios, let's just let them do the computers and iPads at one time. And like we said, we had some hard time getting some of the equipment back last time. And when you do, well, you don't have the passwords. You're good at it because you have to deal with so many people in your department. You have to deal with it. We don't have to deal with them, and Mary doesn't either have that many people. But you have a lot of people with a lot of assets that they need those things. The radios, they need the guns, they need the thing. So this is the best thing, and I think it's good that even the narcotics get accounted for because you got a building and some of it is old and it shrinks due to evaporation or humidity. So you get a professional person to come weigh it, say, this is it, this package, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's kind of CYA, and it has to be done, and it's probably the best thing to be done. And that way you're more at peace. But I asked for it now because I asked a couple months. I think we should go. We should get a plan. Now coming out, we should have a plan too. Why not? But instead of saying, Miguel, we're going to do this without your permission, we're going to do it. I said, you choose a professional. We approve it over here.
I agree. That'd be good.
Yeah,
because we were trying to destroy some of the evidence on some marijuana that it goes back to when I was Highway Patrol. We still had some Romo, but then when I was Mr. LA, he was supposed to give us court order, and then when we had the change with Odin and Mr. Pena, they kind of went out the window. But there's countrymen that shouldn't even be there. I mean, they may be like 18 years old, 16 years old. It should have been, and you can see some of those. We get rats that probably like to go there because they get high because we see big rats, big ones and little ones. And seems like they like to eat that marijuana.
2 feet or 4 feet.
Huh?
Then rest.
Four. But we had cleaned it before, and we were told to wait again, and because like I said, you can see it sometimes when I was there before we went to the courthouse. Sometimes I see them moving, I can see those big rats like that. They look this long with the tail, and for some reason they just like to do it. And we used to spray, so make sure they don't go. But sometimes they still come in.
And I saw the pictures because you showed it to me when those Lewis ladies were there.
Remember?
And the thing is, that's why you get someone professional to come look at it, maybe repackage it, and it's done, it's taken care of. That way it's there. That way,
Like I said, Romo was there when I was corporate with EPS, and we should have destroyed that. Even before me, the sheriff before me should have destroyed that long time ago. But we never got the court order to say, we're just not gonna do it. We don't want to get in trouble. We know it's there, the cases, because they said they were gonna check on the cases to see the disposition, but then it got back with us.
and like I said, it's happened before with tools and things that it's just almost impossible to get them. And the work that takes involved to go back and research it all takes a long time. So this item is basically saying, hey, let's go ahead and get some prices for this. I don't know if you can get it done within 2 weeks, and we'll come back and address it in 2 weeks. Yeah.
We will try to, work on that right away.
Yeah, and then you come back and get it for us. But it's a lot better. It needs to be done.
It's good for everybody, really.
Yes, sir. So that's what it was. I said, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. Because people will say, no, he took this, he took that. I said, you know what? It was done there. It's right there in the file. It's there in the Commissioner's Court minutes. And goodbye. It's important. So I would entertain a motion to authorize,
Sheriff.
yeah, get professional personnel conduct exit audit of all weapons, evidence, narcotics, radio equipment, phones and tablets. And I think the backup procedure is already done by by Victor and Louis, so we'll just leave that alone. We'll talk to him later.
I'll make the motion, Judge.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I brought up number
Thank you.
19 earlier, last year. It's a discussion possible action on setting spending amounts according to chapter 130.908, approval of spending by certain county and precinct officers. Sheriff, are you going to have any more trainings, or is that it for the year? Yeah. Yeah, I would say anything over $1,000 would have to come before the Commissioner's Court. If they don't have any more training. Not saying you can't do it, but it'd have to get, approved by us.
I'll make the motion.
And the thing is, the statute says that we must. It doesn't say you can push it off, and we push it off. That's why I asked, do you have any more training? He said no. So if he needs a gun or something, or something that they need to replace, 1,000 will cover it, but the volita, hey, call a couple commissioners, will get it done. But that's the law that we have to follow.
Okay.
If I no longer become, then this is the law. They said, but Joel can't do it. It applies to everybody. It's a shall deal. So it's not that they've done wrong. It's,
It's a must.
it's a must. So we set a predetermined amount of $1,000. Anything over $1,000, we're
Yeah.
not talking payroll, but just,
Yeah,
you know.
Articles or something.
Yeah, I mean, and really, if it's like a repair needs to be done, we're not gonna hold him back. It's just the travel or, little things.
Make the motion, Drew.
second.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor, say aye.
Second. Alrighty.
Mike, are you out there? Wanted to do it last. Well, Jorge, let's cover you and then we'll cover executive session last.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Item number 13, we're requesting the textile equivalent match project waiver request. What this is we talked about this a few weeks ago. TxDOT's going to be funding those two projects that we had been discussing, the Holland Dam and the one at El Jardín. And part of the process is the county's responsible for a 10% match. So I've been on the phone back and forth with TxDOT for the last few weeks, trying to identify different things to help the county and figure out ways to fund more bridges for the county. And what we've come up with, if you look at the resolution that's before you, we've identified 5 projects, 2 original ones, Holland Dam and El Jardín. We've identified the Cochina Bridge that's on the Brinsat, and we've identified 2 of the ones that are on Valley Wells. Now, all those projects that I'm referring to, there's a total of 5. If we do the one project with the railing on Cochina Road that's not on the Brinsat that we have been talking about doing, it would fund all of those and complete the 10% portion of the money. So the intent is to reach out to TxDOT and get credit for that one bridge in the amount of, I believe it was like 800 and something thousand. And that resolution, that agreement that you see there, it's telling TxDOT that within 3 years, we'll be doing that bridge that has the rails. And in return, TxDOT will not ask for the 10% money match. They'll be actually giving you credit so that they would design, fund, and construct the other 5 that are on there. Now, I've been on the phone these last few weeks, and like I mentioned with TxDOT, and what they're telling me is right now they need to move forward with the 2 that we've been discussing, which is Holland Dam and El Jardín, for next year, and we need to start that process now. There is 2 other ones, which is on Valley Wells, that we already have designs for. So what they're telling me is that if we can provide those designs to TxDOT that you've already done and submit those to TxDOT, they may get those in for next year as well. And the Cochina one would probably push for 1 year, the Brinsap one. It'd push for the 2021-22 cycle, is what they're telling me at this point. Because this is kind of last minute for them, they need to provide this list to their Austin offices so that they can move forward, and whether they're going to fund it, construct it, move it all forward. They do need this agreement passed through Commissioner's Court for it to move forward. So what we on item number 13 is to first identify the projects and verify that you guys do want to move forward with that one Cochina with the bridge and commit to doing that within the next 3 years. And they in turn in this agreement will fund these other listed ones that are on this agreement. And there's 5. And those are the ones that are listed on item number 14. So if you see the first page of that resolution, which is reflected for item number 14, it talks about the Holland Dam at Elm Creek. It talks about the El Jardín at the Frio River. It talks about the 2 Valley Wells Brinsat bridges that are the only 2 on Valley Wells. and it has Cochina as well, the one that's on the Brent Up program. The way I'm seeing this, in the short summary is, we do this one bridge, they're committing to fund these, and there's 5. I know we'd always talked about just 1 or 2 or 3, but now it's 5.
But they give us 2 of them already.
Two are, yes, sir.
So as they fund this,
And
we'll
we'll give you
give you
3 more.
5. So when we fund it, how much is it going to cost us out of pocket?
So when you fund the bridge on La Cochina, we're estimating about $850,000, what you would be committing to doing within 3 years. Sometime within 3 years, we got to do that structure.
All right. Plus, we have to do the match,
No, that would be the match.
for the other bridges?
Yes, sir. That would actually, that 800,000 we're talking about is, if you look at the second page, it talks about how much that is.
So we give the 800,000 to Cochina, now we don't have to match Frio County or Elm Creek.
That's right. We would be actually covering all those 10% matches for all those structures. So what TxDOT's telling me is, if you give me this, if you do this project, find bridges that are in the BRINSAT program, and I'll find money to fund them. And that's
So-
what they've done.
So in a way, you can say today, okay, Nito, I'm gonna save you 100,000. Raul, I'm gonna save you 200,000. As long as Jack pays for the 800,000, I don't have to pay anything.
So Jorge, on the 5 bridges, all we have to come up with is.
No, I
the
mean,
850.
no, we'll work at coming up with the money.
How it gets split up, and the idea is that we got Sun Valley Wells, we have Cochina, we have Hollandam, and we have El Jardín, that are covered on this one that's in yours. That's already been programmed.
That's
and it's
much
the
better.
most dangerous one. Yes,
That's
sir.
much better.
So they are committing, as long as we submit this resolution and move it forward. You had a question, Commissioner?
For the 5, it's only 850.
Judge,
Yeah.
it's Mike Shaughnessy. I have to sign off, but I can join from my phone as I drive to a doctor's appointment. The host just needs to let me in.
Sure. Louis is here, probably be, how long? About 10 minutes. So sign off and I'll call you. We'll come back.
Okay, I'm actually trying to join on my phone, and I'm just in the waiting room. So,
I'm sorry. Okay.
okay, all right.
Thanks.
Just let me in, and I'll join whenever y'all need me. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
So on that
Does
one,
that answer your question, Commissioner?
Yes, on those 5 bridges, so we only have to come up with 850.
So the 850s, it's no money. It is money, but it's going to fund a bridge that the county is already projecting to do. So that money that you spend on that bridge is going to give you credit for all these other ones.
Correct.
But what if it comes out a lot more?
Well, that's why we identified two additional ones on Valley Wells. That additional credit that we were gonna not use, we've already assigned 2 more, and they told me yesterday that if you can get me these documents, these plans that we've already done for Valley Wells, they will use those and bid those out, and we can even get it for next year. So they're doing good, trying to find us money to get more bridges funded. The new leadership there that's really been helpful these last few weeks, these last few months, I should say. So if this works out the way we think it does, it's a big win for the county. Normally, we wouldn't do this or get this, but,
Yeah.
all this pressure that's been put, it's worked.
Let's go for it.
so on that one, Jorge, if I commit in building the big bridge at the Cochina,
The one with the rails,
The one with
the
the
one that's not
rails.
safe right now. We commit to doing that within 3 years.
if we commit on doing it ourselves, these guys don't have to pay nothing?
That's the short answer, yes.
Yeah, they're my friends. I can help them out.
So and that's what the judge is saying, that we'll figure out a way to
Tell me
divvy it up.
again. I didn't hear you clearly.
If I commit in building the new bridge,
Okay.
none of us have to give the 10% down.
No, sir. That covers the credits for all the other ones. And TxDOT's responsible for bidding it, letting it, everything.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
How the budgets get assigned later for that to fund that, we can always look at that, but for now, that's what's before you. Now,
We can share money, If I need some, you got some. Make sure don't spend
I
it
think
all.
that's a pretty good idea, no, Judge? Pretty good idea.
I think it's a good idea.
So,
I'll make the motion, yes.
so the first, item 13 is to approve the project list, which is listed in also number 14. There's two items that are, so once you assign the projects or you agree to them, 14 is the actual AFA, the resolution that's before you. Then we send it to TxDOT, they approve it, and then we're able to do the next step.
I'll make a motion on that, Judge.
Motion's been made to present the resolution as presented. Jorge?
That motion was for 13 and 14?
Yes, sir.
Second.
And it's been second?
Second.
No, Mito seconded.
Mito did.
Yes, sir.
Motion has been made and seconded.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So you're on 15 and 16 now?
Yes, sir. This is related to the bypass. It's just coming up with two things. Setting up an opening, a groundbreaking / opening date. And then the item 16 is to meet with Mr. Ramos to go over the final. I know we've only been authorized to retain or to hold back $100,000. That's the last action we had. It's just to finalize whether we're going to go after liquidated damages and all the closeout after that as well. So those don't need action for now if you're not ready to do so. I know Mr. Ramos is not here, but if you want to set up a date for groundbreaking or something so we can open up the bypass, it's your call.
So we got 15 and 16 together, Judge?
15 and 16? Well, we can do it
Yeah,
together, but
Yeah.
the final punch goes along with the change orders to close out.
That's right.
So-
So they're kind of related. Yes, sir.
So they're kind of related. So when's he gonna get them done?
So Friday, they would have poured, and then all the little change orders that were approved the last time, the guardrails, the channel and everything, they say Friday, so if we want to do anytime after that, it's really your call. Whether it's a groundbreaking first or waiting.
It's not groundbreaking. I think it's just the
I'm sorry,
opening.
the opening.
And one was the contact of the Newmans to make sure that they're, have Mr. Dovalina. I mean, if we can do it next week.
So
just
you
plan
want
a
to
date.
do this week, you want to
They'll be out of there,
groundbreaking? No.
No, that's what we're talking about after the.
Approval.
Yeah, next week, setting a date
Yeah,
that you're
correct.
comfortable with. Because once the traffic is open, it's just like you said before.
Yeah,
it's
you
open.
can't shut it
It's-
down.
It's done,
Yeah.
so.
28.
So
I'll
let's pick a date next week.
Anytime,
28, 21st.
as long as it's not Sunday.
No, I prefer.
I go to church.
What were the plans on groundbreaking or?
It's not so much groundbreaking. I mean,
It's only
it's
opening.
big enough that you can do a big ribbon to do the big ribbon. And maybe
We have
small
that.
prayer, but I don't know. I mean, I know the people wanted something we can.
Like what Colombia wanted to.
What they want to open it. They want to use that road already. They,
Yeah, they want to use it.
they're coming from Los Angeles. They got to come to town to go to Plains. And they just want to go that other way.
Yeah, we just do a.
Sí, pero we can't open it until we do all this little stuff.
But
No, it-
said
how much longer is
they're
it going
done
to take to
now?
open it?
They're pouring tomorrow and today, and the guardrails Thursday, so Friday they'll be done. They'll be
So-
out of the way.
The
So next
guardrail-
week, any day next week will be
Any
ready.
day next week is just
Okay.
take out the barricades and
The 22nd.
When?
Thursday.
Thursday.
That'll work.
Came away Wednesday.
So
I'll be
Thursday
out of
we'll
town Thursday.
take down everything
You
Thursday.
want Wednesday?
I'm not going to be here Thursday.
Wednesday?
Wednesday, 21st.
And how about Friday?
Mejor.
Friday, I'll be done, honey.
Perfect.
Huh? No, this is the 21st?
And
No.
are you looking at having something in the morning or? Okay,
Well, you got the ribbon and the scissors? and-
Yes, sir. I got
and We'll
that.
do free.
Yeah, I got a doctor
At the
appointment.
barbecue?
No?
I got a doctor.
Huh? You got a doctor?
Invite them.
What they just,
So what day y'all get it for?
Wednesday, the 21st.
huh? What day is it just?
21st?
21st.
You want to do it 10 a.m.?
Yeah.
10 a.m.?
Dale.
Or 11 a.m.?
And then take us to lunch.
Yeah. Well, we'll serve something for lunch. I mean, we can serve something for lunch.
Just tell me whatever, we'll take it. And we'll set up a table or something.
We'll set up something to serve.
10 a.m.
At 10,
10 a.m. Dale.
at 10 a.m.
I'll make the motion.
It would have been nice to do like, you know, doing a
Second.
trunk for trees, or what is it?
Yeah.
Would have been nice to do a little drive-through for us there. Cut the ribbon and
That's item number 15.
have each one of us have a little booth and just give candies to the kids that buy.
What day was this?
Nobody,
Yeah. Well,
nobody
well,
get
that's,
off.
that's one of the things we could say. We could do the trick or treat there. It's long enough.
Drive through and take the loop. Almost no turning back.
Right, you did?
Come on, parade, yeah, for the kids. That's for there.
You can move it another week and you get closer to
Yeah,
Halloween.
you could do that. You want to do that?
You said
And Wednesday, they got school.
You can
No, no,
advertise it in
regardless.
the paper and all that if you want. It gives time to do that if you decide to do that. Because the deadline's Monday usually for the paper for Thursday.
But it's not gonna be time to put in the paper now because it's already done. Well, it won't come out till,
One week.
yeah, you need a week in advance. You know, if you want to pick the 28th and you want to do what you want, that's fine. I mean, we can. I think it's wide enough to be able to do your trunk or treat out of the loop.
Mhm.
Somebody else may want to participate, the county do it, kind of what they're doing, that's fine.
Set your little candy.
Whatever it is.
Get Hossie
Order the candy.
to do it, huh?
Order
The only thing is, kids that don't have rides or vehicles, gotta get a trailer or something for them. We'll figure something out for
the
them.
Wolves cattle trailer.
So if they open on the 21st, when's that road gonna be open? For
If we
trucks to
open
drive?
21st, it's open 21st. If we do the 28th, then then we can do an event in the afternoon where the kids do the trick or treat and open it. It don't matter. I mean, motion's been made and second to do the 21st as it is. But once it's open, you're not gonna be able to do anything else.
No.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, people are asking for it.
The only thing we can do when it's open
Let's
is
just
the
open a
bajo,
barbecue and we'll
the
do
rails.
trunk or treat somewhere else.
Okay.
We can do it at the park.
Yeah.
They come in one way, come out the other,
Y ahí va más gente.
probably.
We'll have more people.
All right. So it's 21st,
21st,
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Okay, got it.
Who made the second? None?
Yeah, motion's been made in second. Did all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
All those opposed? So now it's just the executive session item.
Item 16, just tabled until Mr. Ramos, we get with Mr. Ramos.
All right.
Make the motion table. So Mr. Ramos is available.
Raul, Erasmo, table. Well, you need to get the rain days, right? Got to work out the rain days.
Yes, sir. Once we get all that figured out, we're gonna present that to Mr. Ramos, and then we can talk about assessing the liquidated damages and final totals. Up to now, we're holding back $100,000 from the contract. no
Is
matter
that
what.
enough to cover the liquidated
Yes,
damages?
It's 108,000 is what it is. So we can hold back exactly that amount if you would prefer.
Right. It's not 500,000 like those other contracts?
No.
All right. Okay. We voted, right? Did we vote already? Okay, so now it's just the number 17?
Yeah.
Need a motion to go in executive session?
I make the motion to go executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
It is 4:34. We are now in executive session. All those in favor say aye.